blessings, all that good stuff. You see it out here on the road, somewhere in Alabama, and it's raining. It lightened up, but it's still raining. Temperature is 74 degrees, so it's not freezing. If it was, you would have to deal with ice, black ice, all that good stuff. And that's something that is very tricky. You really don't want to drive on that. Once again, you don't want to drive on ice. A lot of people do it, but it's not something you should do. I do, as a trucker, I realize sometimes you have to, but also it's important to know that your shipper, your broker, your receiver cannot penalize you for being late if you are driving in severe conditions like that. So you can literally shut down in a safe place and park until it clears up, until it gets better. Out here on the road, safety is the number one priority. I was taught coming in that you're the captain of your ship. Your truck is your ship, and you are the captain of that. So you have the final say-so and authority, whether you're an owner-operator, a company driver, a fleet owner. As long as you're in the truck, you have the final say-so over if you should drive or not and how you should drive. So so just keep that in mind. Your truck is your ship and you're the captain of it. So basically when it comes to driving in the rain, if it's really severe rain, I would advise to have on your hazards, and the reason for that is so that other drivers, whether it's trucks or cars, can see you. And as well as cars, they should have on their hazards if it's in severe rain. And the reason why is, once again, so other drivers can see you. When it's raining hard, your mirrors, it's hard to see other vehicles in the mirrors, even if they have their lights on. But when they have their hazards on, you can see a vehicle. The visibility is more when the hazards are on. So if it's in severe rain, keep your hazards on and slow down. Keep a long, really far distance between the next vehicle in front of you. And that's it. You definitely shouldn't be doing the normal speed that you would do if it wasn't raining. So if it's not raining, let's say you normally do 65. Well, if it is raining, you should be doing much less than 65. And the reason why is because your stopping distance will be further. So just keep in mind, driving in the rain, it can be done. You want to definitely keep safety as a priority. There's more things to look out for, obviously, in the rain. So driving at a slow speed gives you and the people around you a better chance at being safe. And that's the key. You don't only want to drive for yourself, but you want to drive for other people around you and things that can happen out there on the road. So you can see right now I'm in the slow lane. I'm doing 60. Looks like everyone else is definitely doing 65 or greater. The rain has definitely slowed down, but it's like a slight drizzle still. My delivery is tomorrow, so I have time, and that's another thing. Your time management is very important also when it comes to safety. So if you're driving in the rain and you are pressed for time, well, that's not a good situation, because you're probably going to have to rush, you're probably going to have to speed, and now you're putting yourself at risk as well as others. So time management is very important when you're out there on the road, especially if the roads are not dry. You do not want to ever put yourself in a situation where you have to rush and speed. That's just not wise. So driving in the rain, you definitely driving period, you always want to keep safety as the #1 priority. That's very, very important. I want that to be the takeaway from this video, because you see a lot of people driving recklessly, even if the roads are dry. So as truck drivers, you're definitely going to get cut off. That's just something, usually not trucks are going to do, but in my experience, I see a lot of cars, and it's usually the smallest cars that cut off the 18-wheelers. The little small cars are usually the ones that cut you off the most for some reason. I don't know why. And that's definitely going to happen in the rain as well. So just keep that in mind. One of the worst things that happen out here is when you're driving an 18-wheeler and a car cuts you off and then slows down. So now you're literally tailgating them. The best thing for that, all you can really do is, slow down so that they can go way ahead of you. And sometimes that is hard because they slow down and you're still tailgating. They put you in a position where you're still tailgating. And a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people don't know what it takes to stop a truck. They just don't know. There's a lot of ignorance out there, and it's not really taught. How will they know unless they know a truck driver or somebody who's in that field? So they don't realize that you need a long distance to stop a loaded truck. They don't know that. So, they cut you off a lot of times. It's ignorant, and they put their lives in danger and the people around them in danger, because they don't realize that they most likely will not walk away from getting hit by a loaded 18-wheeler. That will usually be a fatality. So I think if they did realize that, they probably wouldn't cut you off as much, but it does happen, and it happens in the rain as well. So it's part of the game. It's something you have to deal with and be mindful. So once again, driving in the rain, keep safety the priority. Driving on the dry ground, keep safety the priority. If it's ice out there, which we're coming into the winter season, if it's ice out there, I advise you to get off the road, park up in the safest place possible, and communicate. The other part I left out is when you do that, or when you have to stop, or when you have to slow down, well, communicate that to your dispatcher, to your company, to the broker, whoever's giving you that load. You definitely need to communicate at all times what is going on when you have to slow down or stop. That's the other part that is also very important, communication. So when you're out here long enough, you can pretty much will know if you're going to be late or not, how fast you have to go. But once again, when you're planning and managing your time right, you should never have to rush, and you should never be late for loads. That's just it's not something we do. That's not something that's acceptable. Because before you get the load, when the load is presented to you, you should already plan it out to know, can you make it on time? And once you know that, you should communicate that. As soon as you get a load that's presented to you and you see that you cannot make it on time, or you have to rush, well, it's your job to communicate that to the person who's giving you the load. And if you don't, well, guess what? You're gonna have to rush and put your life as well as other lives in danger, and that's just not wise. So communication is another part of being safe. This video is about safety, driving in the rain, and whether it's wet or dry ground, or icy or snow, fog is another severe weather condition. You have to communicate what is going on, why you're slowing down, or why you're parking up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. And we'll see you on the next one.